What up gamers? Today on Testing with IGame, we are going to look in depth into the two most prestigious hand cannons in Destiny 2. The infamous Thorn and Cade's very own hand cannon, the Ace of Spades. So in today's testing, we're going to be looking more into the PvP side of things, as these two are used quite a bit within a Crucible setting over PvE because of the exotic perks they entail. But don't count them out in a PvE setting, as they are both great primary weapons to use in any activity, but in a lot of ways you're better off utilizing other weapons in your exotic slot depending on the difficulty. However, in PvP, these are two of the best hand cannons you could use in any Crucible match. So let's dive in and check out the perks that these two weapons utilize. First up, we have the Thorn in the 150 class of hand cannons with corkscrew rifling, accurized rounds for range, and textured grip, which allows for great handling with this weapon. Its cohesive perks are Soul Devourer and its exotic perk Mark of the Devourer. Mark of the Devourer perk is what gives the Thorn its burn that you see on the targets you shoot, and on a kill, this perk will create what they call a remnant, which is this greenish oval looking thing that will hover over your target's body after you kill them. If you get close enough, the remnant will actually float towards you, allowing you to proc the Soul Devourer perk and partially refill your Thorn's ammo supply, 4 rounds to be exact. Also, once you absorb these remnants, this will allow the ticks on your Devourer burn to be more toxic and inflict more damage, which we'll get into when we cover the damage stats of each weapon here in a few. The Ace of Spades falls into the 140s class of hand cannons and rocks the same corkscrew rifling as the Thorn, high caliber rounds, and smooth grip for improved handling and stability. And just like the Thorn, the Ace comes with its own set of cohesive perks, one known as Firefly and its exotic perk Memento Mori. Firefly, which is basically an upgrade to Dragonfly, allows the Ace to proc solar explosions on precision kills, and also increases the Ace's reload speed after that said precision kill. Which ties into Memento Mori, which states that after a kill, reloading will load 6 extra damaging rounds into the chamber of the Ace. It doesn't actually say 6 rounds in the description, but you can see in the bottom left of the screen how many of those high damaging rounds are loaded in the chamber after that reload. But after testing and utilizing these weapons for a full week, I can definitely see the pros and cons of each of these hand cannons, because in all honesty, they're very similar to each other as far as the simple stats go. And just comparing the base stats, you can see that both guns have very similar impacts, with the Ace being slightly higher due to its lower 140 round fire rate. Zoom and recoil are exactly the same, making them quite easy to control with very similar stability values, although the Ace does kick a bit harder than the Thorn. The major differences between these two exotics is in their handling, range, and aim assistance, which we're going to get more in depth with aim assistance and bullet magnetism, because my lord does the Thorn have some crazy bullet magnetism. But before we get into that, let's compare the actual numbers after testing between these two guns. Looking at the stat table, we can see that although range stats are quite different in the previous chart, both of these guns have very similar ranges before damaged fall off. The Ace of Spades holding just a slight advantage on range over the Thorn. The Ace also holds more rounds, allowing it to have more sustained damage on its targets. Moving further down the line to reload speed, both hand cannons have a 3-second reload speed, but Ace has an advantage after a precision kill, which allows for a faster reload, dropping it down to 2 seconds. And this is important due to the Memento Mori perk that provides those higher damage rounds after a kill with this weapon. The faster you can get those damage rounds into the chamber, the quicker you can get back into the fight against other targets. Moving down again and looking at damage per bullet, you can see that even though the stats before stated Ace had more impact than the Thorn, the Mark of the Devourer perk actually places the Thorn right in line with Ace on damage. And this is simply because the Thorn is still continuously damaging a target for a full second after hitting them with that initial shot. The main round will cause 43 damage to the body of another Guardian and crit at 68 to the head. But due to the Mark of the Devourer perk, you will also do 4 ticks of 2 to your target, so plus 8 to damage, over a full second after the target has been shot. Which is why in the actual stats, you'll see that added to the overall damage of each bullet hit on your target. But this does get strengthened due to the Soul Devourer trait, which increases the tick damage of Mark of the Devourer to 7 each, so plus 21 damage after consuming a remnant from a downed enemy. And because of this, the Thorn will actually implement similar damage to the Ace of Spades even when Memento Mori rounds are active. So when factoring in all these stats after testing, we can see very similar time to kill values between each exotic hand cannon, with the Thorn slightly outpacing the Ace of Spades. And this is even with the Ace of Spades catalyst being applied, which only increases the damage Firefly implements on surrounding targets after a precision kill. So with these numbers in mind, the Thorn barely takes the win in this testing match, but no matter which exotic hand cannon you equip, you need to understand that both weapons have different ways in utilizing them. Thorn is definitely the more aggressive, push forward, no shites given offensive hand cannon, while the Ace of Spades is more your passively offensive weapon. And this is simply due to how you must utilize each weapon's perks. Due to the remnants that Thorn creates after a kill, this incentivizes players to push forward after each kill in order to consume the remnant for more damage. Plus, as I stated before, it allows you to never have to reload as long as you're hitting your shots and consuming these remnants that only last for about 4 seconds on the field after a kill. Plus, the tick damage you apply allows you to see the running targets through walls, which helps to estimate their positioning around a corner. The ace I say is passive because you want to be proccing Memento Mori as often as possible for that extra damage. So to do this, you need to pick off an enemy, get back in cover for your reload to get those Memento Mori rounds in, which again, you only get 6 of them, and then get back in the fight. Unless of course you proc Firefly on a precision kill with enemies clustered next to each other, which will allow you to 2-tap any others affected in your field of view. But in any case, after another 6 shots, you'll do the same thing, rinse and repeat, and reload after a kill for that extra damage. So although cover is always important in PvP, it's crucial with the ace as you'll be at a disadvantage while reloading your weapon. Which again leads favor to the Thorn if you have a more run and gun style of gameplay. Because you'll likely be in cover most of the time with the ace, it is also nice to have their radar constantly available to you even when aiming down sights with your weapon. But getting back to another major advantage for the Thorn, let's go back to the subject of aim assistance. Because Destiny originated as a console game, aim assistance, or as many call it bullet magnetism, has been a thing since the beginning of the game. Some guns have a higher advantage over others in this, and the Thorn definitely falls into this category. So given that the Thorn falls into the 80+ category of aim assistance, bullet magnetism is beyond crazy with this hand cannon. This is also why the spare rations and dire promise are also prominent within the PvP realm of Destiny 2. But as we watch the clips of me shooting a random hive in the tribute hall, you can see just how crazy this bullet magnetism can get with this high aim assistant weapons such as the Thorn. With this high aim assistance, you don't even need to be directly on the head to crit your target, you just have to be near it and within the region of bloom. As long as you're within that circular area, you'll crit your target with a Thorn. And the ace is very similar, but definitely not as prominent as the Thorn. And yes, before you ask, this works in both cases of controller and mouse and keyboard. The bullet magnetism is the same no matter which you're using. So yeah, I just wanted to share that quick detail with y'all because it was extremely prominent when I was testing the range of these weapons. At about 20 meters out, I was aiming at my buddy's body and was constantly critting his head while aiming at the center mass of his body. Hell, in order to get the actual base range numbers, I had to aim almost down to his feet 20 meters out in order to stop critting his head. So yeah, crazy thing with aim assistance if you weren't already aware. But with all these stats and perks in mind, you can definitely see why the Thorn is a prominent force in any PvP activity within the current sandbox in Destiny 2. But that's it for today, gamers. If you enjoyed the content, drop this video a like and tap fire subscribe for more tests in Destiny 2. The next expansion reveal is right before the next reset on Tuesday, June 9th. Is the Drifter going ice fishing? Will Eris Morn make an igloo? Guess we'll find out Tuesday. As always, be kind and have fun, and until next time, gamers, this is Sir Mav, signing off.